Hi, my name's Phil. I like to talk about politics, and in this video I like to discuss Rachel Reeves' interview this morning in which she said she's interested in the proposal to join the Pan-European Mediterranean Convention, which is a pretty clear statement that yes, Labour are still getting their pitch wrong on EU discussions, but that we can expect to be signing up fairly quickly. But first, for daily political commentary, please hit the subscribe button so you stay notified. So it looks like 2 videos on what Rachel Reeves has said today. 2025, I think, really needs to be the year when we stop dancing around and get moving on much closer cooperation with Europe. We have a defence deficit to deal with on our continent, which has been brought into sharp focus with Trump once again running the American government, and an economic deficit which has no easy answers. And it's been said before, we should be moving much more quickly on non-contentious issues. And the least contentious and biggest economic win on the table is the PEM, Pan-European Mediterranean Convention. Joining it would open supply chains, reduce the amount of tariffs applied to British exports to the EU. Labour have other plans as well to lower trade barriers as well, like the veterinary agreement and mutual recognition of qualifications. But those would require quite a lot of careful negotiation. Joining the PEM, although it has a process to it, it's not something you can, it's not like joining a gym. You can't join and then be in it the next week. But it really is as simple as just joining because we meet the conditions required. Like the main condition is have a free trade agreement with the EU. And despite a lot of tedious flapping from some people last week, I did say, I happen to know that Labour have been actively planning this since at least 2023. And this morning in an interview, Reeves said that she was really interested to hear Maroš Šefčovič, an EU commissioner, saying that we might be able to join. This is the most positive language about any concrete scheme we've heard from Labour in government. You know, when you think about, for example, the much talked about youth mobility scheme, we know we're going to sign up to it. Labour have said it off the record, of course, but there is genuine friction because of how it might impact immigration numbers. So there is an argument going on there behind closed doors between like the Cabinet Office, which wants it, and the Home Office, which is pointing to immigration charts and saying, but look. So you get phrases like, you know, we're not planning on it, or it's not currently one of our proposals. But none of that from Reeves today. There was a lot of stuttering, suggesting that she was trying to be really careful with the words, but there were no buts at all. Except one, that any proposal they look at has to sit within their red lines. But Downing Street said last week really clearly the PM does not contradict any of their red lines. Again, on the youth mobility scheme, they kept saying things like, we're not going to allow freedom of movement. People kept saying, youth mobility is not freedom of movement. And, you know, they know that. But they were still, but no, none of that equivocation with the PM. She was asked if she would look at the proposal positively and seriously, and she said yes. Again, no equivocation. She said if we want to grow the economy, we have to boost trade. She did then talk about other countries outside Europe as well, you know, just to calm the Brexit worriers down.
There is a thing called the Pan-Euro-Mediterranean Convention, which it is said could make trade not frictionless, but much easier. Are we going to join?
Well, it was really interesting to see Maroš Šefčovič this week suggest that Britain might be welcome.
The EU Trade Commissioner.
Yeah, the UK might be welcome in that pan-European and Mediterranean customs framework. And we are absolutely happy to look at these different proposals because we know that the deal that the previous government secured is not working well enough. It's not working well enough for small businesses trying to export. It's not working well enough for larger businesses either. We're grown up to admit that, whereas the previous government said there were no problems at all. And where there are constructive ideas, we are happy to look at those, as long as they're consistent with the red lines that we set out in our manifesto.
So that relationship is something that you will look at positively and seriously.
Yes. Last month, I was the first UK Chancellor to attend the Eurogroup of Finance Ministers meeting in Brussels. That's all about resetting our relationship. You're absolutely right, Trevor. If we want to grow our economy, we've got to boost trade.
But I've never seen such a positive statement about any tangible form of EU cooperation from this government. Which sounds mad, because the government keeps saying that closer ties with the EU are their top priority in terms of foreign policy, that the economy is their top priority in terms of all policy. Reeves was talking here about how they boost trade for British businesses. My only facepalm with Reeves' statement today was that she was again, and they keep doing this, describing this idea of joining the PM as if it was a proposal from the EU. We all know Labour want to join. Why don't they just come out and say it? It will boost trade. We want to boost trade. It doesn't break our red lines. So of course we're going to join. Why wouldn't you? Just say it. It's going to happen. And the sooner it happens, the better. Just bloody say it. In fact, wouldn't it be better if instead of going, oh, the EU have suggested this thing, yeah, we'll give it careful consideration. Wouldn't it actually be better for the sort of Eurosceptics, shall we say, in the population, if Labour was saying, we want this thing, and we're going to go to the EU and persuade them to say that we can have this thing. And then the EU go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you've beaten us up to it. Wouldn't that be better for us to say, this is something we want, rather than, oh, yeah, okay, oh, you want us to join this thing? Yeah, why not? I mean, 2024 was all about talk. We do need action now. In order to boost trade, we need deals. Like, think about it that way. Reeves was saying again, we need to boost trade. Starmer's saying it all the time. We need to lower trade barriers. What does that mean? It means deals. You need an agreement. You need a piece of paper with a signature on it. More than one signature. The PM is the single biggest deal we can get this Parliament. We already meet the conditions for joining. The EU have made a public statement sounding positive about the idea. Now so too has our Chancellor. And because it still has a process, which tends to take a few years, we really ought to get started as soon as possible. In fact, even if we applied to join tomorrow, there's no guarantee we would be officially joined before the election. It is possible. So with Reeves talking about wanting to push ahead more quickly with her growth agenda, I would fully expect to hear a positive announcement on applying to join the PM this year. It takes at least 2 years. It has taken longer for some countries. And it would be really positive if businesses could be benefiting from it before the election. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not as good as being in the customs union or the single market, but it is within their manifesto promises. This would be the single biggest trade boost we can realistically get, and we shouldn't be messing about. So let's make 2025 the year of actually getting agreements, at least in principle, on the youth mobility scheme and joining the PM, because we won't have both those things this year because they take time to sort out the details. But then we can use those agreements as a springboard to discuss more ambitious plans with the EU. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.